Hello, everyone. I'm Gustavo Cholosa, your Start Solution coach. And today is a very special day because we are finishing our Starch Solution book club and we will start another one. We will start reading another book. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Um, but let's just jump right in. Uh, Cover the last two chapters, and um, and then we will have some Q&A. I have some ideas to give you, and then we'll talk about our next adventure. Okay, thanks everybody for logging in. As usual, it's a pleasure to be here every week with you and spend a time together. So let's go. I'm going to share my screen and hold on just a minute. Let's do that. And then we will get started with our last session here of our The Starch Solution book. All right, very good. So here we go. This is, I believe, chapter, if I'm not mistaken, 13. Um, and we covered most of it last week. I just want to start with cookware today and move on to the next chapter. The cookware is very important for us plant-based followers because we are not using any oils or butter or margarine, any vegetable or animal fat. So the cookware is truly essential, and it's one of your most important, you know, um, investments that you will make. I think I mentioned to you that I have a wonderful pan, and I bought it about 7 years ago. It has a lifetime warranty. Absolutely nothing sticks to that pan. And yes, it was expensive, but I don't have to worry about it anymore. I used to buy pans every 2 or 3 years, and now that was just a one-time investment. So it is very important to have good cookware, and these are some of the cookwares that Mary McDougall, Dr. McDougall's wife, recommends. I love silicone baking mats. I love silicone baking pans, cake pans. Anyway, casserole dishes are wonderful to have because there's quite a good number of recipes for that. Frying pans that are non-stick. It's good to have good cutting boards, good knives, loaf pans, pasta pots, rice cooker. Nowadays with the Instant Pot, you can truly do everything. It's a slow cooker, it's a rice cooker, it's a steamer, it's a pressure, it's a high pressure cooker, it's a soup pot. It's just you can, even if you like, you can make plant-based yogurt. It's just you can saute. An Instant Pot is truly an amazing piece of cookware. Okay, so when you don't feel like cooking, hold on just a minute. Just want to make sure that we are on and you're listening. You can hear the sound good. When you don't feel like cooking, this is something that every now and then it does happen. So it is for these occasions that we suggest keeping your pantry shelves, refrigerator, and freezer well stocked. And I really I cannot emphasize that enough. I know there are things that don't keep well. Maybe there are some dishes that will get a little bit slimy after 3 days. Salads, if they are prepared, if they're not dry, if they already have the salad dressing on them, they can also get kind of slimy and not good. But you can make a lot of food that does keep well, and it is so important to have it in the freezer and to have the pantry shelves well stocked. So you can prepare, you can portion, you can refrigerate food so that when you don't feel like cooking or you don't have time to cooking, you just pull out something, you let it thaw, you quickly warm it on the stove, or if you don't mind using the microwave, you can use the microwave. Remember, if your favorite dinner is a plate of beans and rice with salsa and corn tortillas, or a big bowl of soup with whole grain bread, or a sweet potato with steamed broccoli, which is one of my favorite, there is absolutely no reason to enjoy the same food day after day and night after night. You can rotate those 3 or 4 things, and you can those are very healthy foods. There is no reason to eat them only occasionally or in moderation. Variety is good if you like variety, and I have to say that I do like variety. I don't eat the same 3 dishes all the time. I might have more like 8, 7 or 8, but it's not like I'm making this gourmet meal every meal of the day, every day of the week. So frozen cooked brown rice and frozen vegetables make a quick and easy work of preparing a meal when there is no time to cook. It really does. Microwave the rice, bake a potato, or boil some pasta, then throw in some cooked frozen vegetables and add some sauces that you have purchased or made earlier, and or a fresh or bottled salsa, or even soups make great toppings for potatoes, rice, and vegetables. It's just full of ideas, and you really have so many ideas here. So I'm just going to keep moving, and one of my favorite topics really is dining out. I just like to go out, and not particularly to eat. I honestly would enjoy more. I mean, like more going to a play or a concert or to the movies. I like to go out, or a parade, or whatever it is. But often, if you have friends, you might be invited to go out, and going out to eat is quite an ordeal, and this depends on where you live. Of course, there are places where plant-based restaurants are now popping up, and they're very popular, and so it's starting to be more accessible. But there are places where still, they meat and high fat animal based foods is still the norm. So what do you do? Well, if you must go out, and we need to really underline this, that if you are serious, if you're very serious, like I was at one point, and for me it was a life or death situation. If you're really, really serious, then for a while, it would be good for you to just not go out, because it's very hard to find places that will not sneak in oil or cheese or things that have a lot of sodium. It's just difficult. And even if you find it, it's not fun sometimes to be sitting at a table and see all these appealing dishes that other people are eating, and you're smelling those smells that you're familiar with, and of course they many of them smell good to us. And it's and there you are with some steamed broccoli and some rice or a baked potato, and of course at home that is delicious, and it's something wonderful. But when you're surrounded by sights and smells and you know, of other foods, then you kind of feel like, oh gosh, what am I doing? So it's better to not dine out. But if you must, I suggest that you decide ahead of time where you are going to go. If you are the one deciding, or if you're not the one deciding, that you are all going to decide ahead of time, and that then you will take time to go to their website and study. You have to do some research. This takes time because the world is not made for us, at least not yet. um, the world of food. So you've got to do some research and study the menu and see if they have something that looks like it's totally compliant. And if not, if you go to the side menu, to the sides, and if you can put together your own meal. And I do that often. I get this side and this side and this side and this side, and I make my own little picnic, my own little meal. Or you may see something that looks 95 or 90% compliant, but there's that one thing um, that is not compliant, and you might ask, you may already go with an idea. And if it's a wonderful salad like the one I had the other day when I did go out, and I saw this wonderful salad, but it had chicken and it had cheese on it. So I said to the waiter, to the waitress, in a very polite way, would it be possible to just leave out the chicken and the cheese, and instead of that, put more greens? Or maybe I said, if they have steamed potatoes, to put some steamed potatoes on top of the salad or on the side. And guess what? This wonderful salad came to my table that was 100% compliant, and it was just because I asked in a nice way, and I didn't say it or demand it, in a non-polite way. So study the menu. Yes, ethnic restaurants, like Dr. McDougall says here, like Mexican, Chinese, or Thai, they tend to offer the best options because these populations have traditionally followed a starch-based diet. So a lot of the food is mostly cooked there. It's not already made. Like, let's say you go to an Italian restaurant. Well, the marinara sauce is already made, and they made tons of it, and they're not going to make you a little bit of marinara sauce without any oil. So you're going to have to, if you have to eat it, then you're going to try to get your whole wheat pasta if they have it. And then you're going to try to get a huge side of steamed veggies if they have that, so that you're watering down the caloric content of the meal. Um, and you learn to do some of these tricks. Um, so it's just tricky. That's all. And it's like everything else. You learn. You get to learn, and you don't assume anything. Never in restaurants, because when you assume, you're gonna get a big surprise. You ask, what does this have, and how is it made? I always ask if at the end they pour some oil, because that seems to be a common thing now. You get a pizza that has no cheese and it's all veggies and stuff, and then right before they bring it to the table, they dump half a bottle of olive oil because they think that is healthy. So you want to always ask. And one time I ordered a salad, and it didn't say that it had cheese, and so it came full of cheese. And I said, well, I ordered this one because it didn't say that it had cheese. And she said, well, I know, but we put it. So anyway, just don't assume. Um, and then finally, Dr. McDougall shows you how really following a starch-based diet is really a much well, cheaper and affordable way of eating compared to the standard American diet. Um, Cleaning after a starch-based and plant-based diet is so easy. We don't use oil, we don't use any kind of fats, so everything gets clean in just a few minutes. Um, and other ideas that he gives you to bring down the costs are listed. And that is the end of chapter 13. So let's cover 14, but before that, I'm going to see if you all have any questions or comments. And of course, I always like to hear from you. So if anything that I said was confusing, or if you have a question, or if you have a comment, or an idea, or something that works for you, please write it down and we can all learn from each other. You know, at the beginning of our book club, I mentioned how we're all different, and here we were going to go at our own pace. Everybody is going at different paces, at a different pace, and then we're going to learn from each other. So if you have anything that you want to share, please feel free to type it. Otherwise, cooking class tomorrow. I loved the one last week. Oh, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Those crusty and crunchy potato balls, I have to say, they were a hit. Incredibly uh, amazing. They were delicious, totally compliant, and another way of eating potatoes and greens at the same time. Planning a a kind of live webinar, cooking webinar like I did last time, it takes hundreds of hours. I know it looks easy when I'm doing it because I have spent 2 weeks pretty much obsessed on the project all day and thinking of all the progressions and everything that can go wrong and everything that I need to do and the list of ingredients and writing the recipe. And it just takes so much time, guys. And I love to do it. Don't get me wrong, especially because then I get to combine my other passion in life besides healthy eating, which is music, and I get to play some music for you. But it takes so much time that I need time to plan the next one. So that is why there is no cooking class tomorrow. I may do a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live in another week or so. So be watching out for that. Make sure that you go to YouTube, you go to my channel, which is under my name, Gustavo Tolosa, and you subscribe. Of course, that's free. You subscribe, you click on that little bell, because when I start to stream for free, I don't charge for that, and I do some kind of a cooking demo, then you will get a notice. But if you're not subscribed, you won't. I mean, you'll see it later, but you won't see it live. All right. Very good. So let's see if we can now just go through this last few pages, and give me a minute here. I will share one more time my screen, and there we go. All right. So chapter 14. This is something you could mention to people if somebody is truly interested and is not trying to get you to fight with them, and they're asking questions and they want to try. And this is a good answer. If they have questions and they're doubtful, you can always say, you can try this way of eating for just a week. You can try it for 7 days. Most likely, nothing serious will happen to you, especially if you let your doctor know, because anytime that you switch your diet, you want to consult your physician before making any major changes to your diet. And this is a major change. So But trying something for 7 days uh, will give you a very clear idea of how you feel and how you look. And so you don't have to convince anybody. Believe me, it is one of the most exhausting and time consuming things. You don't want to do that. You want people to convince themselves. And the only way that that's going to happen is if you steer them to the book, or you steer them to a channel like mine or any other that talk, so that it's not you, it's somebody else who is the expert, because they're not going to see you as an expert. And you let them know that the best way is to try this for a very short amount of time, which is 7 days. It just flies by, and that's it. So um, Dr. McDougall says that experience tells me that you will come to love it, and surprisingly quickly. I also know that you will be relieved to eat as much as you wish, be completely satisfied afterward, and lose excess weight as you improve your health, and more than you ever could from any pill or surgery prescribed by your well meaning doctors. This is not an all or nothing program. However, and this is something that I really want to highlight, however, change is usually easier when you draw clear boundaries for yourself. So let's just say that again. Um, Even though this is not an all or nothing program, change is usually easier when you draw clear boundaries for yourself. So you're not going to be saying, well, today I'm a smoker and tomorrow maybe I'm not going to be. My recommendation is to go at it, at this with your full will and intention to become different. Today, I am a meat, dairy, and junk food eater, and tomorrow I will not be, period. Tomorrow and from now on, I will be a starch eater the way nature always intended me to be. Um, so you wanna, if once you go to the doctor to tell your doctor that you will change your diet for a week, at least a week, and you want to ask for some uh, data. So you want to have your blood pressure checked, your blood sugar, cholesterol, your triglycerides, and of course, you want to weigh yourself. And I would say choose the same time of day, whether it's every morning or at night. I think it's better to do it without clothes, but be consistent. Don't weigh one day with no clothes and the next day fully clothed, of course. Dr. McDougall also suggests checking your thyroid function, as low thyroid can influence your weight and health. So you want to do that before you get started. And he gives you a form here that you could photocopy or print and take to your physician. And then it says get set. Before you get started, weigh yourself and write it down. This may be the biggest clue as to how effective this new way of eating is for you. And then he gives you the basic rules of the program. I haven't highlighted it because I didn't want to highlight the whole thing, but I would, so later on, take your time, read these are very, very, very important guidelines. And then 2 tips that Dr. McDougall says that he has heard over and over again, that these 2 tips that help people to get comfortable with this new style of eating. One of those tips is avoid temptation by keeping unhealthy foods you crave out of your home and workplace. Because as Chef AJ says, my dear friend Chef AJ, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. And I believe it 110%. There are those very, 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 very rare creatures who I don't particularly like. That just a joke. That can have a huge chocolate cake at home, and they can have I don't know, mm, chips, and they can have all sort of junk food, and they're not tempted. They can stay in the shelf for days and weeks, and if they don't, they eat a tiny bit and they put the rest back on the shelf. And but that's rare. Usually, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. And for us who struggle with gain, with overweight, and with obesity, we eat it all or most of it. We don't eat a tiny bite and put the rest away until 2 or 3 days from now. If a food feels like an addictive drug when you eat it, you have a hard time stopping. It's not a good food to keep around. All right, that's one tip. The other tip, prepare or purchase healthy foods you enjoy. So there's always something you can feel good about eating. You want to have maybe on your kitchen table or your dining table a big platter with all kinds of fruits. So when you have that sweet tooth attack, you grab a a piece of fruit or two, and that will usually work. Keep your refrigerator and cupboards filled with good foods you can grab on the go and bring along with you to work or on the road. So, here we go. He says, go. And he gives you some menus, and he says these are not written in stone. You can switch them around. Day 1, day 2, day 3. You have 7 days of menus to try it. If you don't want to even think about it, they have done all the thinking for you, and you just follow it. So I do want to talk a little bit about the maximum weight loss, because the other book that came before the Starch Solution is called Maximum Weight Loss. And it is one of Dr. McDougall's most brilliant books. I know that is Chef AJ's favorite book, more than the Starch Solution. They do have a different, they're intended for different people. But basically, the difference, and I am going to, let's see, hold on just a minute. I'm going to turn on my camera here. Oops. So you can see me. That way, sometimes I even think I can see you, even though I can't. But the maximum weight loss is something you might want to try. These are two different options of the same thing. It's just that the maximum weight loss is a little more strict, because this is basically, the book is truly brilliant. If I were you, I would get it. When I got that book and started reading it, I couldn't put it down. I was highlighting every phrase. It's like every phrase is a truism. Every phrase is brilliant, and it's a good book to read. So, what does maximum weight loss mean? Well, basically, in maximum weight loss, you're increasing the amount of non-starchy green, yellow, and orange vegetables that you eat to about 1/3 to 1/2 of the food on your plate. Remember, the starch solution has about 80% or 90% of your plate as being starch, and the other 10 or 20% as being the non-starchy. Here, with maximum weight loss, half the plate is pretty much non-starchy, which means way less calories, still very healthy, but you get more water, more fiber, and lower calories. So the remainder of the plate you fill with starch, and you first eat the non-starchy vegetables, a big salad, a lot of steamed veggies. This will fill you up. So you will be full with very few calories. By the time you get to the starch, instead of eating a whole baked potato, you're going to eat half. Instead of eating 2 cups of rice, you're going to eat one because you're already full. So the calorie density is cut in quite a lot less. So, but it is a little bit harder for some people that come from a very, very unhealthy diet. They do better if they start with the starch solution first, which has a little more flexibility, and then once they've gotten used to it, and their taste buds have regenerated, they have reconfigured, then they switch to the maximum weight loss. Other people can just start with maximum weight loss. So you also avoid simple sugars, including dry fruits and juices. That's pretty much not in the program. And then there is more limit to fresh fruit. In the maximum weight loss, Dr. McDougall allows you to have 1, maybe 2 pieces of fresh fruit a day. And you really need to avoid, not to say literally don't eat it, flours and flour products like breads and bagels and pastas. That's not included, which they are in the starch solution. Also steer clear of all high-fat plant foods such as nuts, seeds, avocados, olives, and soy-based foods. Eat many small meals a day rather than 1 or 2 large ones. Eat a simple meal plan like sweet potatoes and broccoli, or beans and rice with a non-starchy vegetable. Greater variety results in more food consumed, and that's true. That's just true. The more variety encourages more eating. And basically here, if you're following the maximum weight loss, no restaurants for a week, for 10 days, for whatever you want to try it, no restaurants. And there's a little more exercise included here, even if it's just walking. But look at this, a word of caution, it says. Dr. McDougall himself is saying enjoyment and satisfaction are the keys to successful diet change and weight loss. Avoid becoming too overzealous about eating very low-calorie green, yellow, and orange vegetables and reducing the starches you eat so much that you feel hungry all the time. It will make the program difficult to follow, and it will increase your risk of giving it up. If you feel hungry, eat more starches. All right, so that is the maximum weight loss plate. All right, and here's a Starch McDougall, very good to read. And now comes the chapter 15 with recipes. And let's go back here. All right, so let's see if we have any questions or comments. I also bring my food everywhere. I need to start planning for holiday recipes, yes, in case I'm able to celebrate in person with my family. You know, everything is in planning. Yeah, it just takes a little more planning when we are following a diet that is not the popular way of eating. But we should do the maximum weight loss too. Yes, BJ, we should. Maybe that's going to be another book. But the thing is that the maximum weight loss, that page that I read to you, that's pretty much it. It's the starch solution with taking out some of the higher caloric density foods like nuts and seeds and avocados and breads and pastas, and really focusing a lot on green veggies and um, orange and yellow and red veggies, and about half your plate and the other half with starch. Okay, I wish I'd taken more measurements before I started. Yeah, it's a very, actually, I think that's very important to have before you start. Um, I'm seeing amazing changes in the mirror, but I'm the type that likes to track my progress in numbers. Yeah, I like numbers. Um, so salads. I want to talk about salads because salads are a wonderful way to get your water in, to get your fiber in, to get a lot of nutrients in, and to get bulk because, to feel satisfied and full. And a salad sometimes can be a side thing, and other times a salad is the meal. And the other day, um, that salad that I had at the restaurant was a meal because, number one, because of the size, and number two, because it had mostly the green veggies and red and yellow and all that, but it had chunks. It had potatoes that were steamed in little squares in chunks, and so that had combined both of them. Also, I suggest that you prepare your favorite salad, whatever combination that is of veggies. You get a really good airtight container where you can keep the salad, and that you don't put the salad dressing because that may last for one more meal, but then it does get soggy and slimy, and we don't want to eat it. So you keep the salad like that. It's going to stay crisp for at least 2 or 3 days, at least. And then you have the salad dressing, which we can talk about a couple of options. And each time you eat it, you put the dressing. And each time you eat it, you can vary because one time when you eat it, on top of your salad, you put a cup of beans, black beans or kidney beans or whatever beans you like, or chickpeas that are wonderful. Other times, you can put steamed potatoes in your salad. Other times, you can put corn in your salad for the starch. Other times, you can mix it with brown rice. So these salads are very versatile. You can combine the starch with them. And a salad dressing, when the salad has all that variety of flavors and and colors and textures, you don't need complicated salad dressings. I usually put lemon or lime juice or both. I also put like a teaspoon or a little bit more of soy sauce, um, apple cider vinegar. Um, Also, when you cook your chickpeas, cook a lot of them because you can eat them in a salad. You can roast them in the oven, coated with garlic powder and smoked paprika, and they're like popcorn. But my favorite is to make hummus with them. So easy to make hummus. So easy. They just have to be very well cooked and very, very soft. You put them in the food processor with plenty of lemon juice, some cumin, a little bit, maybe some smoked paprika. You may put some roasted red peppers and put in the processor, in the food processor, and voila, you have uh, oil-free hummus, which now you can also stir it in the salad and mix it really well, and it makes a very creamy salad dressing. You will love it. You will love it. When I found that, I was hooked on that, and it helped me so much to eat salads. Also, you can put your fruit in the salad. I know that this is something that Chef AJ does. She always adds some kind of fruit in her salads, where it's grapes or little one of those little oranges. They could have blueberries. It could have strawberries. It could have, I mean, not things like bananas. Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody would like it. I wouldn't really. It could have apples, green apples. It could, you go ahead and introduce the fruit as well. That adds crunchiness in many cases and a little bit of sugar. So it's a wonderful way to eat. This is truly a wonderful way to eat healthy, to feel satisfied always, and to regain your health. Remember that more than anything else, we're doing this to feel good, to not take medications or take the least possible, to become healthy. And of course, as a side effect, we lose weight. But it's not per se a weight loss program. It's a way to regain, to take control of our health. So I think that what follows in the book is recipes. I think that the recipes in this book are a little more up to date to today's standards. Although in the Starch solution, there are very good recipes there. Don't get me wrong. I still make some of those on a regular basis. And if you have any favorites there, please type it. I have many favorites in the Starch solution. Some of them may taste a little bland, but all you have to do is just be creative and add some other spices that you like. I love hummus on my salad with mango salsa. Oh yeah, also put plantains in the salad. Artichoke hearts are wonderful in the salad as well. Hearts of palm, and it's just endless list of things we can put in our salad. This is going to be our next project. I would like to say this is our last session for the Starch solution. Next Saturday, we will take the Saturday off because that's the last day of July. We are in the year 2020 in July. And so we will start back on the first Saturday of August. And you should receive an email with a link to register for the next book club. This link that you have used today is not going to work anymore after today. So you will receive a new link. I hope that you will register and we will keep meeting again. This is the book. If you haven't gotten it, get this book. I don't know if it's available in an electronic format. I have the actual book. Sauerkraut is great. I also mix that with Dijon mustard and balsamic vinegar. Yeah, Dijon mustard and balsamic vinegar. Then there are those wonderful balsamic vinegars that just by themselves, that's all you need, because they have so many different flavors. So thank you, everybody. I don't have any, well, I do, I always have things to say, but unless you want to share something with us here or post any questions, we will stop here and I will let you know when I come up with my third Cooking with Gustavo. And I have done so far 2 cooking classes. And this next one, whenever it is, I'm going to plan on having it sometime in August. It's going to be the third. And it will be even a little more sophisticated. I'm looking at some recipes that are totally unique because they are from Argentina and they will be reconfigured to fit our way of eating. There, I have some recipes from France, from Austria, things like that, from Italy, from my family, history, and I promise you there will be fun. So I can see that you're saying thank you. The one who says thank you is me, because by having this, believe it or not, we're all humans. We're not perfect. So it helps me to also keep, on track, knowing that I am going to do what I preach. And so by doing this book club with you, it helps me as well. All right. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in 2 weeks, and I will send you an email. Remember that sometimes these emails go to your spam folder or trash or promotions, because different email companies have different email filters, and these emails sometimes go out in a mass, and so they are considered spam. So always look for the emails in not only in the inbox but other folders. All right. Muchas gracias. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Grazie mille. And until 2 weeks from now. Goodbye, everybody. Keep strong and keep on being the best starchivore that you can be.